Greetings, everyone. My name is LaShawn Jenkins. I'm the proud principal at W.A. Patillo Middle School, and I'm here to read Chapter 3 from The Bully. On the following Sunday, before Daryl's first day at Blueford, his mother asked him to walk to the supermarket to pick up some groceries. She said the store was only 4 blocks away. Daryl was nervous about going out again, but it was early Sunday, so he thought everything might be okay. To be safe, Daryl made sure that Tyree and his friends were nowhere in sight before he headed down the street. The supermarket was nicer than the one back home. The aisles were cleaner, and the vegetables did not look as old and limp as they did in Philadelphia. Some things were the same, though security guards were posted at the doors to stop people from stealing, and the line seemed long and slow. After Darrell gathered all the things on his mother's list, he moved to the nearest checkout. In front of him was a pretty girl reading a magazine. Darrell noticed she was wearing a snug blue t-shirt with the words Blueford High Buccaneers printed on the back. The image of a pirate's face with a patch over his eye filled the rest of her back. Darrell's heart raced. Here was a chance to meet a girl from Blueford. He wanted desperately to say hi, but he did not know what he would say after that. He did not want to make a fool of himself. He had decided it would be better to keep quiet when she suddenly looked up from her magazine and smiled. Hi, she said. Hi, Darrell said in a voice barely above a whisper. The girl had warm, brown eyes and a friendly smile. She was a bit taller than he was. Most girls were his age were. He thought it would be great to be friends with her, but he still could not think of anything to say. He wondered what Malik would do in his shoes. I should have known not to come in on Sunday morning, she said. That's when everyone does their shopping and the lines take forever. I can't stand being stuck here doing nothing. She put the magazine back on the rack. Yeah, I know what you mean. The other day I took a bus ride that lasted for 3 days. I almost went crazy sitting that long, Darrell said. You traveled that long just to get here, she said, seemingly surprised. Where are you from? Philadelphia. My mom and I moved because she got a job out here. Tomorrow I start school at Blueford, he said. Really? This time she seemed almost shocked. She probably thinks I look too young to be in high school, Darrell thought. Yeah, I'm a freshman, he said. I'm trying to hide his he said, trying to hide his annoyance. I thought you looked like one, she laughed. So am I. I guess we freshmen have sort of a look about us, no matter where we're from. We freshmen? Darrell turned the phrase over in his mind. He liked it because of the word we. It meant he was not alone, at least not as long as he was alone before she said it. He said on that simple phrase the way a drowning person clutches a rope. So what's your name? She asked. Darrell Mercer, he replied. Well, hello, Darrell Mercer, she said. I'm Aberlin Bailey, she said, and reached for her hand out to shake his. He took her hand. It was warm and soft. For a second, he forgot about the fact that he had lost all of his friends and that Tyree would be waiting for him at Blueford tomorrow. Finally, the line moved, and Amberlynn turned around to pack her groceries. For once, Darrell wished that the checkout line was even slower. See you at school, Darrell, she said, handing money to the cashier. Maybe we've got class together. That'd be cool, he said. Walking home, Darrell felt a little bit better about California. Abilene was really nice. Maybe there were other kids at Blueford like her. Maybe it'd be okay after all. Tyree and his friends might not be in any of his classes. They might even forget all about it. Darrell hoped that there would be someone like Malik in Blueford. Carrying 3 heavy bags of groceries home, Darrell mumbled, maybe the exercise will help build up my muscles as he neared the driveway. He could hear the sound of a basketball being dribbled again against the concrete. Turning the corner, he saw his cousin Travis taking shots at the basket near the edge of the driveway. What are you doing carrying all those bags? Travis asked. I just went to the store to get groceries, Darrell replied, walking quickly past the boy. When we go to the store, we take my dad's new truck. It's a Nissan. What kind of car does your mom drive? Darrell hesitated. He wasn't sure if Travis knew that they did not own a car. He didn't want to admit the truth to him. We left our car in Philly because one of our friends needed it, he said, walking up to the stairs of the new apartment. Are you and your mother poor? Travis asked. My daddy says you were poor in Philadelphia and that's why he brought you here. Because you couldn't take care of yourselves, the boy added, watching Darrell closely. Darrell took a deep breath, trying to contain the anger that suddenly boiled in his chest. Would Uncle Jason say such a thing? He must have said something, Darrell thought, because no 9-year-old kid would say something like that on his own. Not unless he was mean. Real mean. We ain't poor. It ain't any of your business what we are. Now I got to put these groceries away, Daryl said, fuming. As he turned to open to up the apartment door, Nate came outside, and the young boy said he wanted to shoot baskets with his brother. You're too short to play basketball, Travis said, holding the ball over Nate's head so the boy could not reach it. Give me the ball, Nate begged, but Travis kept it just out of his brother's reach. Daryl looked away and went inside. When he walked in, his mother stopped unpacking boxes and came over to him to put the groceries away. You okay about school tomorrow, honey? She said. I'm okay, Daryl said. You know, it's only a mile down to Blueford. And when it rains, you can catch the bus right out of the corner. I know, Mom. I'll pack you a nice sandwich and an orange. No, Mom. I'll get something in the cafeteria. He could tell she was worried about him and that this was her way of telling him she cared. But it bothered him when she treated him like a baby. It only made him feel smaller. He wished she would just leave him alone. Well, just in case, I'll put some granola bars in your backpack, his mother said, opening her purse and fishing out $10. Here you go, honey. He felt back. He felt bad taking the money. Back in Philadelphia, he would occasionally find work to make a few dollars. Once in a while, he would babysat a neighbor's kid. A few times he worked at a small pizza shop, sweeping the floors, keeping the counters clean, and taking out the trash. Sometimes he even made enough to give some money to his mother. Maybe I'll find a job here, Mom. You know, like the ones I had back at home, he said. Don't you worry, honey, she replied. I'm making better money now. You just concentrate on school. As his mother spoke, Daryl heard a muffled yell come from outside. He walked to the door and looked to see if it was Travis and Nate fighting in the driveway. Nate was lying about his stomach. His arm was twisted behind his back, and Travis was straddling him, saying, Say you're sorry. You better say it, or I'll twist it harder. Say it. Nate was whimpering. Dirt and pieces of leaves were in his hair. He was struggling, but he was unable to escape his bigger brother. Daryl could not bear to watch. He knew how Nate felt. He had been in that position before. He remembered the times Jermaine hurt him and no one stepped in to help. No matter where he went, it seemed there was always bigger kids who liked to show how strong they were by picking on smaller, weaker people. Now he was seeing the same thing happen in his own family. He could not sit and let it happen. Daryl bolted out of the apartment, jumped down the steps, and moved in behind Travis. Then, in one quick motion, he wrapped his arms around Travis's chest, yanked the larger boy off his brother. Stunned, Travis kicked and squirmed until Daryl let go. Keep your hands off me, Travis yelled. Pick on someone your own size next time, Daryl said. His pulse was pounding. I'm going to tell my dad what you did. Travis screamed, enraged that Daryl had interfered. The yelling drew Uncle Jason from the house. Hey, what's the problem here? He asked. Daryl is pushing me around. He said he's going to hurt me, Travis whined. Tell me what's going on, Daryl. What are you doing messing with my boy? Uncle Jason asked. Travis was beating up Nate, so I stopped it. I didn't hurt him, Daryl said. Uncle Jason started smiling and nodding during before Daryl finished his sentence. His face seemed to brighten as if someone had pleased him. Those boys like to play a little rough, Daryl. That's part of a boy's growing up that you have been missing out on. I'm hoping living here will help us will living here with us will give you a little of what you've been missing. He threw an arm around Daryl's shoulder. Don't worry. When you see the boys playing rough, they're just testing themselves. That's how a boy becomes a man. Understand? Daryl said nothing. Uncle Jason walked over to his sons, holding his fist up near his face like a fighter in a boxing match. Then he stepped closer and faked slow motion punches into the boy's chest, stopping just before his fist reached them. You boys go inside and get cleaned up. Go on, he said. He put his big hand on his shoulder and gently steered them towards the front door. Travis grinned at his father, but Daryl noticed a different look in Nate's eyes. The little boy was rubbing the arm Travis had twisted, and though he said nothing, Daryl could read the look as if it were a word written on a sheet of paper. There was hatred in Nate's face. Daryl knew that feeling well. Poor Nate, he thought. He decided he would watch out for his little cousin no matter what his uncle said. That was what Malik would do, and that's what he was going to do as well.